Well, the World Health Organization intensifies efforts to contain the coronavirus outbreak. Dr. Luther King Abia Akebe, an environmental microbiologist from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, has written a piece titled "Plans to Fight Coronavirus Must Pay Attention to the Environment." Well, to unpack this, we're joined by the doctor himself from our Durban studios. Dr. Akebe, very good evening to you and thank you for your time. I want us to begin with the point that you are making about the role of the environment in the spread of coronavirus.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to come on air to talk about the coronavirus, especially as that's the point where that's making the headlines now in the news. Now, the reason why I'm coming to talk about the coronavirus in the environment and the role that the environment can play in this, could be playing in the role in the spread of the virus, is the fact that we already know that many disease outbreaks that we've had in the past have been linked to the environment. And also, when we look at the first reported cases in China, the first samples were picked from the environment in the market where the suspected cases came from. And those samples were positive. No sample in the animals were positive. We had human positive samples and we had environmental samples that were positive. So in the face of all these uncertainties regarding this virus, the question I'm asking is, how long can this virus survive in the environment and can it be transmitted from that environment? And those are all questions that have not been answered so far. And I'm just saying that I think if we are going to be drawing action plans to contain this virus, then we need to understand how it behaves in the environment and if the environment can actually play a role in transmitting the infection.
And one of the examples you give as far as these unknowns are concerned is the lack of research or anything substantial on whether, for example, one can get coronavirus from a surface where an infected person would have been or touched the surroundings.
Exactly, that is the point. Because so far now, the modes of transmissions that have been put in place, that have been ascertained, is the fact that when people get exposed or they come in close contact with infected persons about 2 meters apart, then they can inhale droplets. But now the point is, it was isolated from the environment. And I draw experience from the previous viruses like the MERS, that is the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome virus, and the SARS that was initially reported. These viruses have been shown to survive in the environment. They will be able to stay active in the environment on surfaces like tables, like aluminium, like silicon surfaces. They could stay there for like a week and they could still be active. And what I'm simply saying is, if these are all members of the coronavirus family, then why can't we also look at the way this present one behaves in the environment? Because one certain thing is that this current one mutates at a faster rate than the other ones, depending on what is being said on the literature, in the literature. So for me, I just say, it's while we are looking at treating people, at looking for vaccines, which is quite great, getting prepared to handle more cases. I'm simply saying that we should also look at what the environment could be playing in the transmission of this infection, because we don't have that information. There's a lot of uncertainty that surrounds the virus, and I'm simply saying that we should look at that possibility. It shouldn't be eliminated, because Africa, for example, where environmental sanitation is very poor, if this virus can be transmitted through environmental surfaces, then it could be a bigger problem for Africa. So why not just close all those gaps and make sure that the environment actually is playing or not playing a role? That's just all what I'm asking about in the article.
And Doctor, I'm not sure if you've covered this, but that I suppose speaks to, if we're talking about environments, the difference perhaps in climates as well could potentially play a role, if I'm not mistaken. For example, as you say, we know the outbreak began in Wuhan, China. We're now seeing an increase in cases in Europe, as well as Iran, for example. Now we've got people who have been found, well, one case at least reported in Nigeria. So when you look at the difference in climate between the three continents, is that also likely to play a role, yes, for instance, in the quarantine of people who are being treated?
Yeah, the point is, every virus behaves in its own way, and every organism has its way of behaving. While some viruses do not really survive in hot climates, some will thrive in such places. But as we know with most of the flu viruses, that's why we get, for example, during winter, we get more cold coming up, because the viruses that are responsible for flu, they do prefer such conditions when places are colder and the humidity in the air is low. But now that we are getting 3 different climatic conditions and we are getting the virus spreading in these 3 places, it even gives us more worries to think that if such a virus can adapt to these 3 environments, or if transmission can be possible in these 3 types of environment with 3 different climatic scenarios, then it's something that we need to understand properly. Then it means that this virus has probably adapted to different climatic conditions, and that is why I keep on saying that why not look at it in the environment? Let us see how it behaves in the environment. We have a lot of brilliant environmental virologists out there that can go into this type of studies to look at how this will behave under laboratory conditions, under conditions, just to look at them behaving in real life, in real conditions at different temperatures, under different conditions of humidity, so that we can rule that out. But as long as we don't know that, I think it's still a problem.
All right then, Dr. Luther King Abia Akebe, environmental microbiologist at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, thank you so much for being on Nightline this Monday.